All right, guys, I know I've read this before, but I know you're probably bored at home, so I want to give you a fun book to listen to. It is the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and then I'm going to give you a fun assignment for you to post at the bottom. So listen up to the true story of the little pigs. Do y'all remember whose perspective this is written in? You're right, it's written in the wolf's perspective. So let's think about, do we believe him or not? All right, the true story of the Three Little Pigs. And this is by John Skveska. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. And whose side of the story is that going to be? Ah, this crazy wolf. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can just call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's absolutely all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think that you were big and bad too. It does actually look pretty yummy, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, I just realized, look what's hiding inside the hamburger. You put a bunny in there, it's nasty. I've never noticed that before. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is wrong. The real story, the whole story, is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. That's another way of saying he wasn't too smart. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to walk into someone else's house, so I called out, little pig, are you in there? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I puffed and I snuffed. What happened to the whole house, guys? And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner just lying there in the straw. So I ate him up. Think of it like a big cheeseburger, just lying there. Would y'all eat it if there was a big giant cheeseburger sitting there? Would y'all eat it? I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the doorbell to the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hair on my chinny chin chin. Look at his hairy chin. What do y'all think the wolf's gonna do? I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, once again, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Look at his little butt. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, so I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have had the brains for the family. He built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf, and don't bother me again. You think that's going to make the wolf angry? Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Notice how he's making himself sound real innocent and making these pigs sound super mean. Y'all notice that? Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. At least he admits that part. The rest, as you can say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two little pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the whole story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could still loan me a cup of sugar? I know what Miss Richardson would say about this wolf, that he is running game, right? Telling a big old story. Anyways, here's the fun activity that you guys can do. So you can either tell somebody a version of the Three Little Pigs that you make up. You can write it down, or you can type it in the comments below. So if you want to type a story, I would love to read your made-up version of the Three Little Pigs. So maybe it's 3 little mice, maybe it's 3 little cats and a big bad whale. You make it up. You be creative. You use your brain to think. Either write it down, or I would love, love, love for you to type it in the comments. So give me your version, your made-up version of the Three Little Pigs, or write a new story of maybe the 3 little dogs or the 3 little snakes. So whatever you want to do, I would love to read them. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later and hope you have a fantastic weekend. Get outside, play, and stay active, and know that I love you guys and I miss you so much. Bye!